Hare Krishna. Sorry, I was just setting up live streaming. So that's why there was a delay in me. Can everyone hear now? Okay, thank you. So, welcome all for this Gita in Bhagavatam series that we have started to try to dive in more into the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita from the stories of the Bhagavatam. And I hope you're all enjoying this. Last time anyone remembers what did we discuss last time? You are not audible. Does anyone remember what did we discuss last time? Priya or Shruti, Hemali or Akshay, Sunita, Tanmay. So just to give you a revision, that last time we didn't touch any story. It was a launching session, and we discussed about uh, Bhagavad Gita. If you want to understand fully, you need to read Bhagavatam, and only when we read Bhagavatam, our understanding of the Bhagavad Gita becomes more mature and complete. Otherwise, there are some set principles, rules that are given in the Gita by Krishna, beautiful principles, but we may not know how do we apply, and sometimes we may misapply or over-apply in an immature way. And sorry, what did Priya say? and therefore, to go in depth of the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam stories are there that show us practically how did the great souls in the past apply this wisdom and balance different aspects of their life. Else, we may take in the concept of the soul, that we are the body, and we may neglect our that we are soul, we are not the body, and we may neglect bodily needs. Or we may take in how Krishna explains three types of food that is to be eaten, and we may uh, not understand that it is not just health that is of prime focus, but also the journey of the soul. Where is our soul going? Where is our spiritual journey going? So therefore, to balance different facets of our life, when we take in the stories of the devotees, then we understand, we develop more appreciation, and also we become more mature. And because next week is Narasimha Chaturdashi, I just thought we'll take in some aspects of Narasimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj Leela, and see it from the Gita lens, see it from uh, that whatever is spoken in the Gita is that being uh, you know explained or substantiated in the story of the uh, Bhagavatams, the stories of the Bhagavatam. So anyone here that has not heard about Lord Narasimha, the half man, half lion incarnation? Anyone here that hasn't heard? Okay, almost all of you have heard. Being in India, it's quite common to. There are so many temples of Lord Narasimha. There is one devotee has written a whole book about, well, so much research is done on Lord Narasimha's existence, presence in so many places. And in fact, one devotee says that, in the pyramids, there is something called a sphinx, and they so the sphinx are where the it is the face of a man and the body of a lion, exact opposite of what we have as Narasimha, face of a lion and body of a man. It's exact, no reverse. And and there is Singapore. Sometimes our devotees called as Singapore. It is named after a lion, and the best of the lions is Lord Narasimha. And just like lion has two natures, one is towards our cubs, and another is towards others who are trying to harm her cubs. And same way, Lord Narasimha is very, very affectionate to his devotees, and is very angry, upset with those people who are trying to cause trouble to his devotees. And right at the outset of this story, the story starts with a very the inquiry, which is what Krishna says in the Gita, in the ninth chapter of the Gita. Right. 1 minute. Yeah, in the 9.29, when you have the Gita, Krishna says this verse, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshtosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Krishna says in this verse, Samoham sarva bhuteshu. He says, I am equal to all. Name dveshyo asti na priyaha. I hate no one, and no one is dear to me, no one is envious. And Prabhupada writes here in the purport, in the translation, I envy no one, Krishna is saying, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So, apparent contradiction that we see in the Gita, in this verse, one is equality, another is partiality. So, is God equal to all, or is God partial? Any of you have any, anything about this? क्या भगवान सबको एक ही तरह से देखते हैं कि भगवान भेदभाव करते हैं?
एक ही तरह से देखते हैं.
ओके, थैंक यू स्मिता मैम. एक ही तरह से देखते हैं, राइट? एवरीवन एग्रीज टू दिस पॉइंट. भगवान सभी को एक ही तरह से देखते हैं, क्योंकि अगर वो नहीं रहेगा तो फिर हम हमारा भक्ति या हमारा जो धर्म का प्रैक्टिस won't make any sense. God is not equal to all. At the same time, if God is really equal to all, then why do anything for him? Yeah, Jivan, there is this communistic idea that share all the resources to everyone. सबको समान तरह से देखो, सबको जितना भी धन है सबको बांट दो. And so is Krishna proposing that he's a communistic God that who's saying that I equal to all, but we see in this world that not everybody is having equal facilities, not everyone is having equal inclinations for coming to him. And not everyone is blessed the same way. So, of course, the concept of karma comes based on the karma that we uh, accrued, that we have, uh, have done in so many lives. Based on that, there is the equal of the law of action and reaction. So there is Krishna is equal because the laws that are there in this universe apply equally to all. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. There is no one who can escape from the laws. In the Gita quotes that we say, there is four things: Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. They are common to all. सबके लिए वो है. कोई डेथ से नहीं बच सकता है, कोई डिजीज से नहीं बच सकता है, कोई ओल्ड एज से नहीं बच सकता unless he dies young. So the laws of this universe, laws of karma which Krishna has made, are treat everyone equally. अभी गर्मी हो रही है, सबको हो रही है गर्मी. ऐसा नहीं ना कि जो भगवान का नाम जप कर रहा है उसको गर्मी नहीं हो रहा है. एक बार श्री प्रभुपाद was in Mexico or some foreign place और वहां पे जो है मच्छर थे काफी. And these mosquitoes were kind of biting a lot of people there, but not many were biting Prabhupada. And this devotee, he kind of came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, seems like even mosquitoes recognize your position as a pure devotee and they are not troubling you. वो आपको आके काटने रहे. So Prabhupada, he just laughed and said, but in Calcutta they make no distinction. मतलब कलकत्ता में तो कोई भी हो मच्छर मुझे भी काटता है. So it's always a mystery, why do mosquitoes bite some people, don't bite some other people. But Prabhupada, he said that in Kolkata the mosquitoes are equal to all, they trouble everyone. So this is a very, very fundamental reality, that the laws of the universe, laws that Krishna has placed in this world, don't change just because we are becoming spiritual. We are so we never become. But what we can become is we can become immune to the suffering that comes because of the change of situations. So that is on us. So the laws don't change. Laws are equal to all. And that is the premise of science. The premise of science is that F equal to ma is a universal truth. Or E equal to mc square, wherever it is there, whether it is in sun, whether it is in moon, whether everywhere. It doesn't matter about the person, about the time. The laws are same. And this is something that even Krishna is said in the Gita. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Oh Arjuna, for me, everyone is same. So Prabhupada gives a pretty brilliant purport in which he says that just like a father, for father or mother, all children are same for them. No, they love all children. But they will not deal with all children the same way. अगर सोचिए, if a child who is 2 years old, if he needs mother's milk, the mother will feed. But if a child is 10 years old, the 10 years old has to be dealt differently. For the 10-year-old, the mother may chastise him, correct him. But for the 2-year-old, no matter how much kind of trouble he is making, she just keeps tolerating. And sometimes, in homes there is this argument between siblings. हाँ, उसको तो कुछ बोलती नहीं वो और मुझे बोलती हूँ. You might have heard this lines or you might have said these lines. हाँ, उसको तो कुछ नहीं बोलते और मुझे 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 ही बोलते. Apparently no partiality. But does the mother make any partiality when she feeds? She cooks. जैसा ऐसा requirement है सबके लिए बनाती. So Krishna is like that loving parent who is equal to all, but based on the situation of the child, he deals with them differently. Another example that Prabhupada gives is that of a cloud. The cloud pours rain everywhere. We are all waiting for the rainy season. बारिश सब जगह होती है, वो बंजर भूमि हो, जो भी भूमि हो, सब जगह होती है. But the soil, if it is fertile, that soil will make use of the water and will create vegetation, will produce vegetation. But if it's a barren land, no matter how much is poured on the, it just flows away. बस या तो पानी अंदर जाता है या बाहर बह के जाता है. So Prabhupada, gives this example of a cloud. So why am I telling this shloka 9.29 in Nrsimhadeva's pastimes? Because this is how the story starts. The story starts with um, the story starts with Maharaj Parikshit, who is the hero of the Bhagavatam, who was cursed to die in 7 days, who takes exclusive time out, full time out, just to hear and remember Krishna. He says, my dear Brahmana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is everyone's well-wisher. We also know that in 5.29. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. So in 5.29, Krishna says, I am the best well-wishing friend of everyone. And in 9.29, Krishna is saying, I am equal to all. So both things Prabhupada is. 5.29 का ये line है, everyone's well-wisher. Krishna is everyone's well-wisher. सुहृद है, सबके भगवान सबका भला चाहते हैं. And thus he is equal to all. And because Krishna is the well-wishing friend of everyone, he is equal to all. He is not neutral to all. He is equal to all. Then Parikshit asks, how then did he become partial like a common man for the sake of Indra and thus kill the sons of Diti? तो इस स्टोरी के पहले there is a story in which all the Rakshasas, they come from all the Devatas and Rakshasas. They have common father Kashyapa and they have two mothers, Diti and Aditi. Aditi is from a divine background, and therefore her children are called as Adityas. And there are usually 12 Adityas. Sun is one of them. Indra is one of them. Lord Vamana is one of them. And there are the Daityas. Daityas is those who are sons of Diti. Usually they are Asurik or Rakshasa in nature. And previous to this, Lord Vishnu, by doing puja to Lord Vishnu, the by doing puja to Lord Vishnu, Indra was protected and the Diti's sons were killed. And so यहाँ पे seems to be partiality that Diti's sons Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu were killed and Indra was protected. So this is partiality. So therefore Parikshit is asking, how then did he become partial like a common man? Common man हम सब क्या है? हाँ? Whoever no praises us, we become उनके लिए kind हो जाते, we become no soft to those who praise us, and we become no angry or neutral or तो जहाँ पे प्रेम रहता है ना वहाँ पे can you please advise which page we are reading? So we are taking the story of Parikshit, story of Narsimhadev, 7th canto, and I am referring to this one book called as Srimad Bhagavatam Condensed. So this is the whole Bhagavatam, which is like 12 cantos and 18,000 verses. It's huge, voluminous. So this is like written in a story format. So if when you want to muse over the story, learn the story, then or recollect the story, this is very helpful. Sometimes just shlokas you may get lost. So for these sessions or in general, when I want to just recollect the whole story, I use this book. This is available online or in our temple, written by Purna Pragna Prabhu. It is not written, but it is said as told by Purna Pragna Prabhu. So seems to be retelling or compilation of his talks. But there is no here and there, just whatever is there in the Bhagavatam, exactly the story is presented. So herein, Parikshit is asking, how did Krishna become partial like a common man? Because common man, we get influenced. We get influenced by praises, we get influenced by curses. जो हमको गाली दिया उसको हम खाना उसको हम we don't want to feed him. जो हमको praise किया, and usually who over satisfies our ego, that person becomes our friend. Whoever hurts our ego, he becomes our enemy. Although one who is praising us may actually have evil intention, and one who is correcting us may have very noble intention. But we usually go at the ego level. Whoever praises us, we just go with them. And so he's asking, Krishna is not a common man. He's not influenced like us because we have an ego and that gets satisfied, dissatisfied. Krishna doesn't have a false ego like us, depending on just someone's validation for his own self-worth. So therefore, he's asking, how can one who is equal to everyone be partial to some and inimical to others? भगवान जो सबके लिए समान देखते हैं, वो क्यों देवताओं को रक्षण देते हैं और क्यों राक्षसों को मारते हैं? Very nice question. Since the Supreme Lord is a reservoir of all pleasure, complete and self-sufficient, what would he have to gain by siding with the demigods? भगवान को क्या देवताओं से कुछ चाहिए? जैसे कभी कभी हमको साइड लेना पड़ता है क्योंकि if husband doesn't take the side of the wife, then he'll not get his niwala, he'll not get his food. So sometimes we take sides, or if the employee doesn't take the side of the employer, They will not get a salary, or will not get good credits. Like once in a office, the boss was taking a meeting and everyone was laughing. One guy was quiet. So the boss asked him, "Hey, did you like the joke? Joke pasand nahi aaya kya?" So this employee said, "Sir, मैं कल ही रिटायर हो गया हूँ और बस आज मेरा सामान लेने के लिए आया मैं." So he said, "I got retired yesterday. I don't have to laugh on your silly jokes, your poor jokes, speeches. So therefore, so sometimes we kind of हाँ में हाँ मिलाते हैं, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, कोई तो अकबर बिरबल का है कि हाँ हाँ बैंगन अच्छा है कि नहीं है, I don't remember the story, but if the king likes it, I like it. If the king dislikes it, I dislike it. तो मैं गुलाम किसका हूँ? वो मैं सर्वेंट, आई एम सर्वेंट ऑफ दैट पर्सन बिकॉज आई नीड समथिंग फ्रॉम हिम. Until I need something from him, I'll keep serving that person no matter how much I dislike what he eats, what he says, whatever. Because हमारे जरूरतें हैं उनके साथ. But Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is he dependent on the devatas? He is not dependent on the devatas. And because he is not dependent on the devatas, why does he have to take sides? Side क्यों लेते हो? What would he have to gain by siding with the demigods? Whether or not Lord Narayan is actually impartial has become the subject of great doubt in my mind. And thus I request you to dispel it with positive evidence regarding his neutrality. तो भगवान की न्यूट्रलिटी, हाउ ही इज इक्वल टू ऑल, वो बताने के लिए कृपया मुझे एविडेंस दीजिए, पॉजिटिव एविडेंस दीजिए. एंड क्वाइट कॉन्ट्रास्ट टू द क्वेश्चन, इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन कि भगवान सबके लिए समान है, तो देवताओं का साइड क्यों लेते? क्योंकि उनका तो देवताओं के ऊपर कोई जरूरत नहीं, डिपेंडेंसी नहीं है. एंड देन दिस क्वेश्चन का आंसर में सुखदेव गोस्वामी इवेंचुअली स्पीक्स अबाउट लॉर्ड नरसिम्हादेव. एंड लॉर्ड नरसिम्हादेव का स्टोरी में वी सी इवन मोर ग्रॉसली, प्रहलाद को बचा लिया उनके भक्त को, और हिरण्यकशिपु जो है उनको मार दिया. So any guesses how by Narsimhadev's Leela, Lord Narsimhadev's pastime, is the Lord's impartiality being shown? कोई बता सकता है? क्या गेस कर सकते हैं?
प्रभु जी, इस लीला से तो नहीं बता सकते, लेकिन जो गोवर्धन पर्वत जी की जो कहानी है, उसमें भगवान इंद्र जी से भी गुस्सा हो जाते हैं. तो मतलब इट इज, आई कैन नॉट से अबाउट दिस स्टोरी, लेकिन इस स्टोरी में जब देखो तो लगता है हाँ वो पार्शियल नहीं थे, क्योंकि इंद्र जी से भी वो उतने ही गुस्सा हो गए थे जब उन्होंने गोवर्धन पर्वत उठाया था.
Very intelligent, Priyanka. Thank you. So Krishna
थैंक यू
also
प्रभु.
got angry with the Devatas. Okay, very good. तो ये स्टोरी
अ,
में बोलिए.
जी प्रभु जी, मेरा आई एम नॉट श्योर कि ये एग्जैक्टली करेक्ट होगा कि नहीं, बट मैंने बचपन में कभी किसी से सुना था, मुझे याद भी नहीं किससे सुना था, बट ऐसा मैंने सुना था कि बहुत सारे जो भगवान के अवतार होते हैं, ये सारी लीलाएं होती हैं क्योंकि कोई कोई राक्षस ये सब का वध कर सके, इस कारण से. जैसे कि रामायण में भी ऐसा कहा जाता है कि वो जो मंथरा दासी थी, उसके भी वाणी में सरस्वती को डाल दिया गया था ताकि वो कैकेयी को भड़का सके और फिर राम जी का वनवास हो जाए, ऐसे ऐसे करके वो रावण को मारे. या फिर ये नरसिम्हा भगवान की भी स्टोरी में ऐसा ही था कि जो उनके पिताजी थे शायद हिरण्यकशिपु, वो काफी दानी थे या फिर वो अच्छे थे। वामन अवतार में भी जिनको मारा था वो काफी दानी और अच्छे राक्षस थे, मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन कहीं कहीं पे ऐसे कुछ कुछ इस रिलेटेड टू दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग, दिस लाइन ऑफ थॉट, ऐसा मैंने सुना है कि इस कारण से मतलब उन्होंने उसका वध कर दिया फॉर द ग्रेटर गुड, क्योंकि वो था भी राक्षस एंड में और कुछ कुछ प्रॉब्लम तो करता ही था। तो सामने सामने हमें लगेगा ऑन द फेस ऑफ इट कि उन्होंने प्रहलाद को इससे बचाने के लिए किया, पर शायद इसके पीछे और भी बड़ा रीजन हो सकता है।
Thank you, Shruti. Anyone else? What do you think? How do you कि भगवान नरसिम्हा देव का लीला जो नरेट कर रहे हैं, how does it establish Krishna's impartial nature? क्योंकि प्रश्न हुआ था, because if you don't know the question and if you just read the answer, then आपको उसका जो क्वेश्चन वहां पे क्यों लिखा है उसको आपको पूर्ण तरह से you will not understand. Like I say, if life is the answer, what is the question? हमारा जीवन अगर एक उत्तर है या जो अभी हमारा, तो प्रश्न क्या था जिसके कारण ऐसा हमको जीवन मिला? So the initial question was of परीक्षित महाराज कि भगवान अदिति के बच्चों को रक्षण करते हैं और दिति के बच्चों को मारते हैं. Now when Narasimha's story is told, in which किसको मारा भगवान ने? दिति के बच्चे को ही मारा, हिरण्यकशिपु. और किसको भगवान ने बचाया? दिति के ही वंश में जो प्रहलाद आते हैं उसको ही बचाया. सो पहला क्या था कि एक अदिति और एक दिति, ये देवताएं हैं, इनको रक्षण करूंगा, और ये दैत्य से दिति के बच्चे ये राक्षस है, इनको रक्षण नहीं करूंगा, इनको मैं मार दूंगा. लेकिन जब इनमें ही दिति के बच्चों में हिरण्यकशिपु उनके बेटा था और हिरण्यकशिपु के बेटा प्रहलाद था. So now there is no family difference. Sometimes this family is being being blessed, this family is not being blessed. Now herein in the same family, the father is killed, the son is protected. So इससे एक जो डाउट है परीक्षित के मन में कि केवल देवताओं को भगवान बचाते हैं, वो डाउट निकल गया. भगवान तो राक्षस कुल में भी अगर कोई जन्म लिया है उसको भी बचाते हैं. एंड लाइक एज प्रियंका सेड, अगर देवताओं के कुल में जो अगर कोई जन्म लिया तो वो उसको ऐसे नहीं कि ऑटोमेटिक बचाएंगे. Therefore, one of the good lessons is that we are not defined by our birth. हम हमारे जन्म से निर्धारित नहीं होते हैं. We are we definitely have a quota of karma because of which we take birth, but that doesn't decide our future. So ये बड़ा जरूरी है for us to know that we need to know this, that Krishna is not partial. Krishna, but just like in the Gita verse 9.29, he is saying, first 9.2, He's saying, ये भजन तु माम भक्तिया. But अगर कोई मेरा भक्ति करता है, तो for him is a maite teshu chapyam. He is in me and I am also a friend to him. So if somebody does bhakti, then Krishna's partiality is towards that person. Krishna is not partial based on some race, nor some education, nor some wealth. All these factors don't decide Krishna's favor. Krishna's favor, भगवान की कृपा, भगवान का आशीर्वाद जो है, वो उनका जो भक्ति करते हैं. And what is bhakti? Prabhupada gives in this purport is that पानी सब जगह गिर रहा है. Krishna's mercy is in everyone's life. ऐसा मत सोचिए यहाँ पे हेमाली है, माधव है, सुनिष्का है, स्मिता है, प्रियंका है, श्रुति है. तो ऐसा नहीं कि किसी के जीवन में भगवान की कृपा है, किसी के जीवन में भगवान की कृपा नहीं. ऐसा नहीं है. Just like a cloud pours its water on a rock, on a land or water, same way Krishna's mercy is for everyone. But just like in a school or in a college, the teacher is teaching same subject to everyone. 40 बच्चे बैठे हैं, 40 के 40 सुन रहे हैं, लेकिन किसी को 90% मार्क्स आता है and someone else gets 50% marks or someone else fails. What's the difference? Difference is in receptivity. Difference is in application. Difference is in seriousness. So Krishna's mercy is everywhere, is in everyone's life. We just are not realize, not aware. Therefore, Prabhupada always says, Krishna consciousness, Krishna bhakti जो है, वो एक इन्वेंशन नहीं है, वो एक बाहर से लेके आया हुआ कुछ चीज नहीं है जो हमको लेना पड़ता है. It is not a Krishna consciousness, not a artificial imposition on the mind. कोई भी योग हो, सब लोग बाहर से डालना पड़ता है. But भक्ति जो है, भक्ति is a discovery. It is already there. But with bhakti, we are able to realize how much blessings we have, how much Krishna is already merciful. And when we have that eyes of love, eyes of bhakti, then Krishna starts to become visible. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya punaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. That भगवान की कृपा में कमी नहीं है, हमारी कैपेसिटी में कमी है, हमारी ईगरनेस में कमी है, हमारी रिसेप्टिविटी में कमी है. And therefore Krishna is equal to all. He is ready to give everyone the chance to go back to him. He is ready to protect everyone. But are we calling out to him in pure love? Because if it is not in pure love, then the laws take over. Laws decide. But when there is pure love, then the laws don't affect. Like प्रहलाद को आग में डाला था, कुछ नहीं हुआ. The law of this world is anything that you put into fire, it burns. And Prahlad's skin was normal skin, like all of us. But it didn't burn. In fact, the lady who was trying to keep Prahlad inside, Holika, who had a boon from Brahmaji, कि ये जो है आग में नहीं जलेगी, वो जल गई उसमें. We do one day before Holika, that we put that big bonfire all over India. So that is the story that starts with the story of Prahlad. So see, होली होके अभी कितना 2 महीना हो रहा है. So almost for 2 months, Prahlad was being tortured. At least 2 months. Holi, from Holi, which is usually in March, till Narasimha Chaturdashi, usually in the May end. So at least for 2 months, Prahlad was constantly being tortured, tried to be killed, but he was not so because he had such pure love for Krishna, the laws of this world, Krishna overpowered over. And even if sometimes there was trouble for Prahlad, because his consciousness was so immersed in Krishna, it didn't really trouble him. Example I give is that nowadays, we are all into these gadgets, constantly in the gadgets. तो जब कुछ मोबाइल में कुछ वीडियो देखते हुए खा रहे हैं, the taste is hardly to be experienced. तो कुछ तो पेट में डाल लेते, लेकिन वो अगर of course I'm not glorifying मोबाइल, बट वो अगर नहीं है तो फिर हम गलतियां ढूंढते रहते हैं, तो ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. So same way, when a devotee is absorbed in Krishna, इस दुनिया में ऊपर नीचे होते रहता है, गर्मी, सर्दी, खांसी, जुकाम, वो सब are part of the package, but he never stops to chant his rounds. He never stops to do his sadhana properly, and that way he starts to become above the law. The laws no longer control him. Yes, he is affected by the laws, but he is not controlled by the laws. Prahlad also, some laws did affect him. We cannot say that प्रहलाद को ऐसा एक सूट मिल गया था भगवान नरसिंहदेव से कि कोई भी कुछ भी बोले या कुछ भी करे उनके साथ nothing troubled him. No, naturally he was a person, material body, and things did affect him to some extent. But even that small thing didn't bother him at all. And so the story establishes this fact very strongly about how Krishna is partial to his devotees and not to a race. Not because अदिति के बच्चे थे इसके लिए उनके लिए पार्शियल थे. और दूसरा एक बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग एग्जाम्पल है गोवर्धन लीला, लाइक आई थिंक प्रियंका मेंशन. लोग गोवर्धन लीला का भी अच्छा एग्जाम्पल. So we'll continue. Any questions about this point till now? So the answer to this, Shukdev Goswami. So यहाँ पे आज हमने गीता के जो कृष्णा statements are being understood in a even better way, in a even nicer way, mature way. नहीं तो कृष्ण ने बता दिया समूहम सर्वभूतेषु न मे देशोऽस्ति न प्रिया एपि चाहम भक्त्या न तेषु चाप्यहम् मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम्. ये सुनते हैं हम, गीता में सुन लिया, लेकिन इसका डेप्थ अगर समझना है, व्हाट इज द डेप्थ, देन एक तो परपोर्ट्स है प्रभुपाद जी के परपोर्ट्स, और दूसरा है कि हम भागवत की स्टोरीज में we can see the verses of the Gita come alive. So Shukdev Goswami, your question is excellent, for it involves discussion of Lord's activities in which the devotees of the devotees are also to be found. The hearing of such topics which are extremely pleasing to the devotees always counteracts the miseries of the materialistic ways of life. Shukdev Goswami, he is not, I should say, troubled by the question. कभी कभी कोई टेक्निकल थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, so some speakers, they get troubled. But here, Shukdev Goswami is very happy to see this question, because when audience, when the जो सुन रहे हैं, वो लोग जब प्रश्न पूछते हैं ना, so what does that mean? They are paying attention. They want to know, they want to learn subject nicely. And Shukdev Goswami, why does he like this question a lot? Because this question is going to bring the story of Prahlad, Nrsimhadev, and both the Lord and the devotee is going to be glorified. But before that, यही जो है भगवान का ये जो नेचर है, उसको समझाने के लिए ही Shukdev Goswami speaks a little philosophy, which we'll just go through a little. And he says, when we hear about Krishna, when we hear about Krishna's devotees, हम तो कितने लोगों का सुनते हैं, no? This person got gold medal, that person got this. भाई सुन के हमको क्या फायदा होने वाला? He says, it counteracts the miseries of materialistic way of life. तो हमारे जीवन में जो बाधाएं आती हैं, उनका नाश हो जाता है जब हम भगवान और भगवान के भक्त के बारे में सुनते हैं. So both aspects, one is philosophical, intellectual aspect, another is emotional or life aspect. Both are satisfied in the pages of the Bhagavatam. कितने सारे साइंटिस्ट है, ये सब अलग अलग रिसर्च में डूबे रहते हैं कि ऐसा क्यों है, वैसा क्यों है, इलेक्ट्रॉन ऐसा क्यों जा रहा है, वैसा क्यों जा रहा है. लेकिन उससे उनको जो है, उनके जो जीवन में जो their intellectual aspect is satisfied, but their emotional aspect is not satisfied. I remember when I was doing my master's in quantum physics at Chicago, University of Illinois, Chicago. One of my professors was teaching a course in second level of quantum field theory, kuch tha aisa. And he was teaching very intense subject. We were all trying to understand all these equations that were huge on the board. And then he got a call. And then he picked up the call right in the classroom. And we talked to someone. We thought it's something urgent. He talked to someone and he started to jump up and down right in front of all the students. And then he said, I'm so happy because I got just confirmation for Super Bowl, 2 tickets for the Super Bowl. And some of you may know what is Super Bowl. Super Bowl is something like IPL in India. Itna craze hai, money and this thing. So maybe 50 times more or 100 times more is a craze for Super Bowl. It's a rugby event. Rugby or handball, दोनों का अलग-अलग नाम, same play, अलग-अलग नाम. So it's a rugby event in which Yankees, Bulls, all of them, they play. Maybe basketball का नाम है सब. So and he was jumping up and down that I finally got 2 tickets. And what is Super Bowl? What is it? This is just जैसे एक बार एक व्यक्ति कुछ पता नहीं था फुटबॉल के बारे में, वो जाके स्टेडियम में बैठा और पूरा मैच देख के he was asked, so how did you like it? So this man said, Why didn't you give everyone one ball? सब लोग एक ही बॉल के पीछे इतना बेचारे एक दूसरे को मार रहे थे, इधर उधर भाग रहे थे। सबको एक एक बॉल दे देते थे, सब लोग शांति से खेलते थे। Everybody would have played peacefully. No, you kept only one ball, 11 players, this side 11 players, that side, and so many, no, red card, this card, no, you're kicking the person, this, that. Because this person didn't understand soccer, didn't understand football at all. So otherwise सबको एक एक बॉल दे देते तो हो जाता. So no, I logically it doesn't make sense. Of course, health, fitness, and all that, but you know, it's a sport. It's not. It's a sport for pleasure, and it has some no relevance. But to get so excited, to spend so much money and energy, and especially no, ये quantum physicist है, and I have not seen him that excited for some some of the theories he is teaching, but जिसका कुछ intellectually कुछ value ही नहीं है. Entertainment value है, but intellectually कुछ value नहीं है. Whether somebody gets 11 goals or 2 goals doesn't make any difference in the understanding or the physics aspect. So why people have these two, why do people live two lives? Because in one life they have to put up a show to make a living. Another life they have to live a life. उनका जीवन है, उनके they have to express themselves. Sometimes they don't go together. So therefore they live most of us. I won't say most of us, but many live two lives. One want to put a show, another is to express themselves. And so one is intellectual, one is emotional. जो जरूरी है और जो आपके दिल के नजदीक. बट भागवतम स्टोरीज से क्या होगा, ये दोनों एक साथ आप इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं. That's why even in the 10th chapter of the Gita, Krishna says, अहम सर्वस्य प्रभो मत्ता सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां ज्ञात्वा भूता भावम अव्ययम्. So bhajantavya. So bhava and sorry. Buddha bhava samanvit. So buddhi and bhava, emotion and intelligence, both can be together. So Bhagavatam में आपका intellectual जो है desire to learn about the universe, learn about Krishna, learn about life, ये सब fulfill होता है. At the same time, you are thoroughly entertained. You are the mystery, the humor, whatever rasas, whatever kind of things you like, they are all fulfilled in the stories. So the Lord, he appears. So Shukadeva Goswami, he wants to clarify, he wants to give proper understanding. So he says, Bhagwan to nirgun hai. Krishna is known as nirguna. Nirguna means without any material qualities. And he is unborn. Yet the Lord appears through the agency of his interpreter and accepts duties and obligations like an ordinary conditioned human being. भगवान निर्गुण है और जन्म नहीं लेते. Because why do we take birth? Because we are still affected by gunas. थोड़ा सत्वगुण से affect हो जाते हैं, रजोगुण से affect हो जाते हैं, तमोगुण से affect हो जाते हैं. अब थोड़ा नहीं, पूरी तरह से. और ये गुण के कारण हम इस दुनिया में अलग अलग जन्म लेते हैं. प्रॉपर टेल्स, अगर कोई बहुत सो रहा है तो तमोगुणी बहुत है, वो गुण के कारण उसका जन्म. कहाँ? एज ए पोलर बेयर. somebody eats a lot, so उसका कर्म, उसके गुण के कारण उसका कर्म होता है और उसके कर्म के कारण उसका जन्म होता है. But because Krishna is Nirguna, he doesn't need to take birth. But Krishna says again in the Bhagavad Gita, ये देखो अलग अलग third chapter में Krishna speaks about 3.22. 3.22 Krishna says, नमे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचना नानावाप्तम अवाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्मणि. Krishna is saying in the third chapter of the Gita, no work is prescribed to me. मुझे इस पूरे दुनिया में कोई भी काम करना की जरूरत नहीं है. क्यों क्यों कोई भी काम करने का जरूरत नहीं है? बिकॉज आई एम नॉट इन वांट ऑफ एनीथिंग. मुझे कुछ जरूरत नहीं है. हम काम क्यों करते हैं? क्योंकि हमारे जरूरतों को पूरी करने के लिए हमको काम करना पड़ता है. भगवान को कुछ जरूरत नहीं है. उनको भूख नहीं लगता है तो खाना क्यों बनाएंगे वो? Nor therefore he says, nor I am in want of anything, nor I have a need to obtain anything. ना मुझे कुछ जरूरत है, ना मुझे कुछ चाहत है. There are needs and there are wants, right? So Krishna is saying, neither do I want anything, neither do I need anything. We all work sometimes because of some needs, basic needs जो है खाना सोना, इस चीज के लिए काम करते हैं. बट वो जो बेसिक के बाद भी लोग काम करते ही रहते हैं. Why? Because they want position, they don't want to stay in a 1 BHK flat, they want to stay in a 3 BHK, or they want to stay in a particular location, or they want to drive in a car. So because of the needs that we have, अलग अलग जो needs है या अलग अलग जो wants है, उसके कारण हमको काम करना पड़ता है. So नाना अनावप्तम. अनावप्तम is want या अवाप्त्यम या नीड. न नीड है मुझे कुछ, न मुझे कुछ वांट है. वर्त एव च कर्मणि. फिर भी आई वर्क. Krishna says, yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. And why do I engage in prescribed duties? In the next verse 23 says, यदि यम वर्णवर्तेयम जातु कर्मन् न तंत्रिता मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. अगर मैं मेरे जो मेरा नहीं भगवान अगर जन्म लेके जो कार्य कर रहे हैं, सुबह उठने का, गायों को चराने के लिए लेके जाने का या दान देने का, अगर ये सब मैं नहीं करूंगा, मुझे ऐसा नहीं कि मुझे कोई आशीर्वाद चाहिए, मुझे ऐसा नहीं कि मुझे कोई दूध चाहिए. ये सब तो प्रेम के कारण लीलाएं हैं, जैसे श्रुति से. बट आई एम डूइंग ऑल दिस टू सेट द राइट एग्जाम्पल. सो द भागवतम Shukdev Goswami tells that I am Krishna is Nirguna, he doesn't need anything, doesn't want anything. Still he comes and he accepts duties and obligations like an ordinary condition human being, just to teach us. हमको सिखाने के लिए वो अलग अलग जन्म लेते हैं. Still, even though Lord's activities may sometimes appear otherwise, they are spiritual and absolute. Thus, it is an imposition to think he acts under material influence. तो पहला तो जो परीक्षित का थोड़ा डाउट था, is he like an ordinary human being who is conditioned, जो पार्शियलिटी किसी को साइड लेते किसी का, तो वो निकाल रहे, वो डाउट को निकाल रहे हैं वेरी सिस्टमैटिकली, सेइंग दैट कृष्णा इज नॉट ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन। भगवान जो है विष्णु, वो कोई मामूली व्यक्ति नहीं है हमारे जैसा, बट ही टेक्स बर्थ, apparently takes birth just to do different purposes, like in the 4th chapter Krishna says यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्। जब जब धर्म का ग्लानि होता है वहां पे मैं आ जाता हूँ। So Krishna does come, and these 3 gunas, because he is nirguna, it doesn't affect him. All of us are affected. But Shukadeva Goswami says जब सत्वगुण बढ़ जाता है ना, so the rishis and the devatas, they flourish. In the morning time is sattva-guna, so in that time good activities, spiritual activities are easier to perform because we get strength from the gunas. Similarly, when the mode of passion is prominent, demons flourish. और जब passion बहुत है तो काम करो, kamaओ, greed, all this are very active. And mode of ignorance predominates. Yakshas and Rakshasas flourish. रात को night life, Bombay city, city of that never sleeps. तो रात को लोग जो है लोग फ्लरिश होते हैं, वो लोग रात को जग जाते हैं। यहाँ पे कोई है जो रात को एकदम फुल्ली एक्टिव इज इन नाइट, दिन में पूरा एक्टिव नहीं, लेकिन जैसे जैसे रात होता है वैसे वैसे उनका एनर्जी लेवल्स बढ़ते रहता है। Sometimes some little children are like that. The later in the night goes, the more their crying increases. And Paramatma in the heart is of सबके हृदय में परमात्मा है, और वो इम्पार्शियली जिसका जैसा गुण है वैसा उनको वो प्रदान कर रहे। और गुण जो है हमेशा एक साथ काम नहीं करते, ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही साथ सत्वगुण भी है, रजोगुण भी है, तमोगुण भी, ऐसा नहीं होता। Parishit Shukadeva Goswami says, which Krishna explains in the 14th chapter of the Gita. What does Krishna say in the 14th chapter of the Gita? I think in the 10th chapter, 14th chapter, 10th verse. Rajas tamas chavi bhuya sattvam bhavati bharata. Kabhi kabhi, sometimes mode of goodness is prominent, defeating passion and ignorance. Sometimes passion is very prominent, or sometimes ignorance is very prominent. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. So same thing, Shukadeva Goswami in the Bhagavatam is telling. तो जब भागवतम पढ़ते हैं तो हमारा अंडरस्टैंडिंग जो है ये वर्सेस का हमको और थोड़ा एक्सपैंड होता है। And if you don't connect like this, what am I doing? Whatever I'm reading in the Bhagavatam, I'm kind of reflecting, showing it in the Gita. तो गीता में जो भी लिखा है वो भागवतम में ग्लोरीफाई हो रहा है, क्लैरिफाई हो रहा है। So Shukadeva Goswami says that sometimes there is passion increases, sometimes ignorance increases, sometimes mode of goodness increases. As an intelligent person can estimate the amount of fire present in wood, amount of water and air within a pot, so an expert thinker can understand how much one has been favored by the Supreme Lord by observing his godly or demonic activities. तो एक कोई बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति है, उसको पता चलता है कि कौन सा लकड़ी कितना जलेगी या कौन से मटके में कितना पानी आएगा। Same way, how the modes are affecting different people. A a thoughtful person can know कि ये सत्वगुण से काफी अफेक्टेड है, इसको सब चीजें क्लीन रखना के लिए अच्छा लगता है, या he likes to know chant in the morning. So from that, he is more closer to God than those who are in passion or ignorance. So that like that he can understand. Such favor of the Lord is not due to partiality. लेकिन ये partiality नहीं भगवान का. But it is completely dependent upon the attitude of the recipient. जो recipient है ना, उसका attitude के कारण वो सत्वगुण में है. So if somebody his attitude is right, he can always improve. If somebody is currently waking up at 8 a.m. If he works on it, he can definitely wake up early and chant nicely in the morning. But if his attitude is of the top neglect, that I don't want to put work, जब उठ जाऊंगा तो उठ जाऊंगा, then he will never rise up. So to rise in our modes, then what do we need to do? We need to change our attitude, improve our attitude. So altitude depends not just on aptitude, but attitude. जीवन में कितना ऊपर जाएंगे हम, केवल बुद्धि से नहीं काम करता है, एप्टीट्यूड से भी काम से ज्यादा कभी कभी आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. और जैसे aptitude can get you a job, but attitude can make you grow in the job. So rather it is completely dependent upon the attitude of this. If one situates himself as Satyaguna, then his brightness shines forth. But if Rajoguna and Tamoguna cover, his nature brilliance remains manifest. So emotions को समझना बड़ा important है. Otherwise, we'll always keep giving excuses. प्रभु जी मैं उठ नहीं पाया नहीं. You are being under the influence of Tamoguna, and it is your choice to be under the influence of the Tamoguna. If you want, slowly you can come out of the Tamoguna. So understand your situation, don't justify your situation. हमारे situation को समझना चाहिए कि मैं कहाँ पे हूँ, लेकिन just समझने से ऐसा नहीं होता कि भाई ऐसा हूँ तो ऐसे ही. No, you can always improve, you can always work on yourself. And therefore Parikshit को बता रहे, so based on one's past karma, the Lord awards a particular body and then infuses it with a particular proportional modes of nature. तो किसी के पास्ट जन्म के कर्म के हिसाब से भगवान जो है मोड्स को छोड़ते हैं. So modes are completely under Krishna's control, and he releases the modes effect according to one's previous karma. Krishna is creator of course. ये दुनिया उन्होंने बनाया, और ये दुनिया में जो टाइम फैक्टर है वो भी उन्होंने बनाया, और वो टाइम के हिसाब से अलग अलग जो लॉज है, डिफरेंट लॉज आर enacted or put or worked on the law. Shrutimati is asking, is chanting at night wrong? No, it is just the tamoguna is so much, there is attention in chanting may be less in the night. So therefore recommended to chant in the morning. But if you are not able to complete, then it's okay to chant in the night also. And anytime chanting is good. But just that if you want to really focus on the name, holy name, then morning is better. So the Supreme Lord, who is a creator of time factor, in which conditions, because time factor enhances Sattva-guna, demigods are favored. And they are generally victor. Although Lord is original cause of this, you cannot be said to be partial. So Krishna is not directly changing the modes. It is time factor. सुबह होती है तो सतोगुण होती है, दोपहर को रजोगुण, रात को तमोगुण, फिर सुबह सत्वगुण. सो टाइम चेंज हो रहा है उसके कारण, एंड टाइम इज कंट्रोलिंग द मोड्स, एंड टाइम इज energy of Krishna. Time is Krishna's Kala Rupa. Is he controls this world in the form of time factor. So if somebody so Krishna is not partial directly. It is the time factor which decides the different modes which is influencing us. But whether we'll get influenced by that, जैसे अभी रात है, शाम है, we can be tempted to eat this, do that, but we can choose. No, मुझे भागवतम सुनना है, मुझे भगवत गीता सुनना है. So although this is a sattvic activity, Shuddha, pure transcendental activity, we are doing this in the evening. Some of you may be feeling sleepy because of the tamoguna, and we are almost about to end. But it is not abstained that tamogun के time पे हम नहीं कर सकते. नहीं, if we decide to hear and chant, we can do it anytime. So therefore the Lord is not partial. तो इसके बाद जो है परीक्षित को शुक्र गोस्वामी, before even starting the story of Lord Nrsimha, he tells another story when Krishna kills Shishupal. शिशुपाल को भरी सभा में सबके सामने भगवान मारते हैं और अपने सुदर्शन चक्र से. And that time Yudhishthir gets a doubt about Krishna being partial. So Shukdev Parikshit, who is the grandson of Yudhishthir Maharaj, gets it out. And to clarify this, Shukdev Goswami, instead of directly telling Narasimha's story, he tells आपके दादाजी जो थे ना, उनको भी डाउट आया भगवान की ये शिशुपाल का वध देख. But that doubt and your doubt are about Krishna's partiality or impartiality, but it is completely opposite तरह, opposite doubts है दोनों का. और वो opposite doubts क्या मतलब, एक भगवान की पार्शियलिटी के ऊपर डाउट करता है, दूसरा भगवान के इम्पार्शियलिटी सही है क्या इसके ऊपर डाउट. विल कम टू दैट. बहुत बड़ा वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग सेक्शन है. And therefore Krishna in the 11th chapter, he says this very nice verse which will end with. .54. He says, Bhaktya tu ananya shakya aham evam vidarojuna ज्ञातुम द्रष्टुम च तत्वेन प्रवेशुम च परंतपा. Krishna tells, my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. मुझे समझना है, मेरे अंदर प्रवेश करना है मेरी मिस्ट्री में, इतना आसान नहीं है. So therefore, by presenting two opposite kind of views, opposite view, एक व्यू तो देखा हमने परीक्षित महाराज का क्या व्यू था, क्या क्वेश्चन था. But next time we will take परीक्षित, will take युधिष्ठिर महाराज, दादाजी का क्या प्रश्न था जिसके कारण नरसिंहदेव का लीला शुरुआत हुई. तो ये सेक्शन के साथ ही नरसिंह लीला चालू होते. कभी कभी क्या है, we just directly take Narasimha's Leela, which is anyway abhi next Wednesday is at the temple. Whichever temple you are close by ISKCON, you can please visit for Narasimha Chaturdashi, and here morning, evening about Lord Narasimha's Leela. But this is like the foundation. और ये समझ के हम जब हम नरसिंहदेव की लीला में जाएंगे ना, with the help of Bhagavad Gita, like today we took verses from 11th chapter, we took verses from 14th chapter, we took verses from 9th chapter, we took verses from 5th chapter and also 3rd chapter. So we know our constant माइंड जो है गीता के श्लोकों में घूमते रहेगा, ये स्टोरी को कहाँ से कैसे कनेक्टेड। सो देयरफॉर भागवतम जब पढ़ेंगे आपका गीता का जो है रिवीजन बहुत अच्छी तरह से होता है। सो देयरफॉर प्लीज do come for this sessions where we are doing Gita and Bhagavatam. I hope you are liking it. Not just taking Bhagavatam, but taking Bhagavatam from Gita. Means, and किसी को कुछ प्रश्न है तो we can take 5 minutes are left. Else we'll conclude our talk. So I already answered that question. Is chanting at night. It makes me peaceful and it helps me sleep better, but in morning I do not feel so much. Okay. Whatever, wherever stay, whatever way you can focus on the holy names, please do that. Not a problem, because these gunas are usually brahminical lifestyle के लिए है, और वो जरूरी है, but it is not that we are totally dependent. Holy name is not dependent on any of this. So whenever you can chant nicely, please do chant. So thank you all very much. We'll stop here our streaming also.